For lesson 4.5, we're looking at the subject and the object. Now, in our last reading, the subject and the object were highlighted. And I asked you, as you listened, to pay close attention to the bold words, because the bold words each represent either a subject or an object. So let's talk in more detail about that. 4.5, the subject and the object. Let's look at some examples here. Our first sentence example is, Madison has a nickname. Okay? Now let's look at the explanation. The subject, or S, comes before the verb. Subject first, verb next. The object comes after the verb. Verb first, object next. The object is a person or a thing. The reason we call this the object is because this information is the object of, or the topic of, the subject. Subject, verb, object, or object of the subject. You can also simply say, it's what the subject is talking about, or it is what the subject is connected to. Madison, nickname. Let's look at our next one. He always talks about his children. Now, what is the subject in this case? He. What is the object? Children. So the subject is taking action, talk, verb, about or on the object. An object can also follow a preposition. In this case, the preposition is about. Remember, prepositions, there are many prepositions. In, on, over, under, through, about, within, without, many, many prepositions. I have a middle name. I never use it. An object can be a noun or a pronoun. In this case, the object is a pronoun. I is the subject, use is the verb, it is the pronoun that is the object, or an object that is a pronoun. He, subject, has, verb, two last names, subject, verb, object. Okay? In this case, the object is a noun. He, subject, uses, verb, both of them, object. In this case, the object is a pronoun. So we have subject, verb, object as a noun, subject, verb, object as a pronoun. Subject, verb, object as a noun, subject, verb, object as a pronoun. Let's go on and look at the comparison of subject and object pronouns. So we're looking more in detail at this idea of the difference between a subject and an object pronoun. I like my name. My wife calls me Bill. The subject pronoun is I, and the object pronoun is me. Notice that in the second sentence, my wife calls me Bill. Me is no longer the subject. I is the subject in our first sentence. So let's look at it more carefully. I like my name. I, subject, like, verb, name. That would be our object as a noun. My wife, subject, calls, verb, me, Bill. In this case, the object, because my wife calls who? Me. The object is me. It's an object pronoun. Subject pronoun, object pronoun. You have a strange name, subject pronoun. I want to ask you about your name, object pronoun. With the pronoun you, it does not change whether it's a subject or an object. So notice that the subject pronoun you is the same spelling as the subject or the object pronoun you. He has a nickname. We call him Jake. Subject pronoun, object pronoun. He, him. She uses a nickname. I call her Annie. Subject pronoun, she. Object pronoun, her. It's, or it is, a nice name. I like it. Subject pronoun is it. Object pronoun is it. So, just like with the subject and object pronouns you, there is no change. And with the subject pronoun and object pronoun it, there is no change in spelling. We have 2 kids. They call us mommy and daddy. Subject pronoun we, object pronoun us. They are wonderful kids. We love them. Subject pronoun they, object pronoun them. Let's look at a couple of language notes. After a verb or a preposition, we use an object pronoun. My mother calls, there's our verb, my sister and me, her little babies. We do not say, my mother calls my sister and I. Remember, I is a subject pronoun. It comes at the beginning of a sentence. So make sure you don't make the mistake of saying I as an object. It should be me. In the subject position, we use a subject pronoun. My sister and I. Why do we use I? Because I is part of the subject. Sister and I, that's the subject right there. Sister and I. What is the subject up here where we used me as an object pronoun? The subject is mother. The whole subject is my mother, but the basic subject is mother. So since this is the subject and this is the object, we're going to make sure that we use me because it's the object pronoun. Okay? Now, as I look at the exercises here, there are many exercises. So for this assignment, it's going to take some time, but let's look at each of the exercises. Exercise 9. Fill in the blanks with an object pronoun that matches the underlined words. Remember, the object pronoun are these. Excuse me. No corona. So they want us to fill in the blanks with an object pronoun. I want to know more about your name. Tell me something about it. Okay. I use my middle name, subject pronoun, excuse me. I, subject pronoun, use my middle name when I sign my name. But I don't use, okay? So the underlined word here, in this case, my middle name, that's our, I use my middle name, that's our object. So what do we use here? I use my middle name when I sign my name, but I don't use blank any other time. Okay, I use my middle name when I sign my name, but I don't use it any other time. Okay, so the object pronoun is it. And you can always refer back to this table here. Make sure you're using one of these words in each of these fill in the blanks. For exercise 10, it says complete the conversation between a foreign student, A, and an American student, B. This is a little confusing because A stands for American. But in this case, the A is the foreign student and the B is the American student. Americans are informal about names. So remember, we're going to complete the conversation between a foreign student and an American student and use the what? Correct object pronoun. Again, we're only using the object pronouns. Only the object pronouns here. Americans are informal about names. Our teacher calls us by our first name. There's that object pronoun. Our teacher calls us by our first names. Why us? Why not we? Well, because this is the object, right? Object us. We do not say our teacher calls we by our first names. Why? Because we is supposed to be used as a subject. This is a sentence. What is the subject in the sentence? Teacher. So us must be the object. So make sure you use us. What does your teacher call blank in your country? What would this be? What does your teacher call you? Because teacher is the subject, call is the verb, and you is the object. Object, you. Okay, that's what we do for exercise 10. For exercise 11, it says, fill in the blanks with I, I'm, or I am, my, mine, or me. Okay? Example 1. I'm a foreign student. I am. Blank 20 years old. Would we say I 20 years old, or I'm 20 years old, or my 20 years old, or mine 20 years old, or me 20 years old? I'm 20 years old. So we use I'm again. Blank study at the University of Wisconsin. Which of these fits? Okay, so make sure you write those words in the blanks. Let's go on to exercise 12. Fill in the blanks with you, your, or yours. You, your, or yours. You're a good teacher. You are. You are. Notice that you are is a contraction. And so this contraction actually becomes what? The subject and the verb. You are. We use you as the subject pronoun. Blank explain grammar well. Would that be your explain, you explain, yours explain? What would be you? In this case, you is the subject. And remember, when you use you, you can use the same spelling for both the subject pronoun and the object pronoun. Okay? So we're filling in these blanks with only these words. Fill in these blanks with only these words. He, he's, his, or him. Fill in these blanks with she, she's, her, or hers. For exercise 15, fill in the blanks with it, its, or its. And remember, it''s means it is. Its is possessive, right? Let's see, how would I say that? It walked down the road with its master. It walked down the road. Let me write that. It walked, I'll just say it walked with, we're talking about, say, a dog, right? It, the dog, it walked with its master. Okay? So we're using this its. Because think about it, if we used the it''s, that would be it walked with it is master. No, that's not correct. So make sure you're using the correct word there. Exercise 16, fill in the blanks with we, we're, our, ours, or us. And 17 is fill in the blanks with they, their, theirs, or them. Okay? So notice that we're filling in the blanks with the pronouns, right? He, him, you, they, his, etc. And that's it. Wow, that took a while. Okay, good luck.